A while back on my YouTube channel, I reviewed the Warhawk from Cold Steel. Just a few days later, I went out and reviewed the Estwing Tomahawk. In this video, these two Tomahawks are going to go to battle. We're going to see which one walks away with the title. Stay tuned. I wanted to take a moment to say what's up to all of my subscribers and greet new visitors as well. My name is Daniel. Welcome to 411 Outdoors. If you find this content helpful or resourceful or even entertaining, I'd be pumped to have you as a subscriber. Just don't forget to click the bell so that you can get your notifications. Now let's get started on this battle. Earlier this year, I developed an obsession for tomahawks. I had never owned one. I had hatchets, axes, and all of that kind of stuff, but I'd never actually owned a tomahawk. There's something special about a tomahawk. Many of you know the backstory. Ever since watching The Patriot, I just love the tomahawk. Why I never went out and got one, I don't know, but this was the year I was like, I've got to get me a tomahawk. And then I was like, what do I mean tomahawk? I need tomahawks. I want a bunch of them. I want infinity tomahawks. I want tomahawks raining down from the sky, one after another. I'll make room for them if I don't have room. Then I started doing my research and I was looking at different ones, and I saw, some of the wooden handle tomahawks, but the one that drew me in first was the cold steel tomahawks. I watched a video on the trench hawk and the war hawk and started, comparing prices, and I found a very inexpensive war hawk. I can't remember what the website it was, but I bought the war hawk and I got it and I was like, wow, this thing is like super scary. I didn't even want to use it. I didn't even want to chop with it. I was like, man, this is just going to be kind of like one of my tactical home defense backup weapons. So I went out and reviewed it. I haven't even used it. I ain't even chopped anything with it. I just know it can destruct everything it touches. I know that this thing is a machine. But I was like, I still wasn't done. I heard about the Estwing Tomahawk. It looks a little bit different. It looks smaller. It looks lighter. It's full tang. That's pretty cool. So I went back and forth about that one, went out and bought it. Bought the Estwing. Then I went out and bought the SOG Fast Hawk. But this battle today is not about the SOG Fast Hawk because I don't believe that's an apples to apples comparison. But I do see a lot of people battling over whether or not they want to get the Warhawk or the Estwing. And the reason why that's the case is because they're pretty similar in price. They're like $40 tomahawks and they're both awesome. So in this video, we're going to let them fight with one another and see who comes out on top. I know some of you, watch the UFC and boxing if you're anything like me. You like those combat sports, and they have these press conferences where the fighters get to come out and talk junk to one another. They get to talk about why they think they're the better man and all this kind of stuff. Well, today we've got our tomahawk sitting on the panel. I'm going to be interviewing each tomahawk, and each tomahawk's going to tell you why he's the better tomahawk, and we're going to find out. So my first question is for Mr. Warhawk. Give us your thoughts on this fight, how you think it's going to turn out.
I'll give you my thoughts. First and foremost, I don't even know why there is a fight. I mean, look at me and look at him. The thing is like not even close to my size. Look at the blade, nowhere near as sharp. Look at my blade, super scary. You'd run for the hills if you saw me coming. Look at his spike, look at mine. Come on, man. Is there any comparison whatsoever? Look at this awesome polypropylene handle. Just look at me. Just take one look at me and make the assessment yourself, my friend.
Mr. Estwing, those are some really strong words. You've heard what Warhawk has to say, and I can already tell by the look on your face that you're not in the least bit happy about any of it.
Yeah, let me tell you about the trash talk coming from this guy. I wonder how many times that precious blade has been laying on the ground because it broke free from the handle. And I wonder how long his owner had to wait to get another handle from Cold Steel. You don't see that happening with me, guy. Take one look at me. I'm full tang. You can throw me all you want to. You can beat the crap out of me. I stay in one piece. He talks about that spike. Look at mine. You think you'd be any less afraid if somebody came after you with this? He talks about my sharpness. Have you ever heard of a sharpener, guy? Have you ever heard of a grinder? One thing's for sure. You won't see me laying around in two pieces like Mr. Warhawk over there. He might be big, but he's fragile.
Guys, you're really doing a good job of selling this fight, and you both can talk a good game, but I'm gonna have to see you perform. Let's go for the chop test. Gonna work on this dead tree right here. We'll start with the Warhawk. Now it's time for the Estwing.
Yeah, let me at him, guy. Let me at him.
Time for the throw-in test. First on the list, the mighty Warhawk.
Hard hitting, massive penetration.
Estwing time. Ruh-roh. See that? It took 3 times for this Estwing to stick, and I hit it on the right side every time. I'm going to show you why the Estwing struggles in the area of throwing. Okay, the Estwing's on the left and your cold steel's on the right. Look at the thinness of the cold steel. The thickness of the Estwing blade makes throwing very difficult. Round 3 is simple. Full tang or not full tang. The benefits of full tang are massive, and they make up for other benefits. Round 1 and 2 obviously goes to your Warhawk. This is a lot sharper, and it's probably easier to keep sharp, and it throws better. Here's the problem though. Throw this long enough and you're gonna want this. Round 3 goes to the Estwing. On the surface, the Warhawk wins by knockout. Heavier, it's sharper. It's gonna chop things down more violently. It throws better. And on the surface, this is your winner. It wins 2-1. What about a rematch? How would the Estwing do in a rematch with the Warhawk with a couple of modifications? The blade is the only problem. This could be thinned down. This could be grinded down a little bit. It would throw much better and it would chop much better, and you never, ever have to worry about replacing the handle. Y'all don't know how much I have put this Tomahawk through the ringer. The problem with this knockout machine right here is that in due time, if I throw this enough, and I do a lot of throwing, I am going to be replacing this handle. And I'm hearing that getting a replacement handle is not always the easiest thing to do. That's just what people who have had to replace this handle have shared with me. So this is an interesting subject. In the first fight, the cold steel won by knockout 2-1. But with a few modifications, the Estwing comes and wins the rematch because it's full tang and because it will never detach. So just to do a little post-fight interview with you guys, I want to ask you, Mr. Warhawk, what are your thoughts on the fight?
Turned out exactly like I thought it would. The Estwing didn't stand a chance against me. Full tang, full tang, full tang. That's all I hear about. Who got knocked out, though? Who chopped better? Who threw better? You're looking at me.
Estwing, what do you think about that? I mean, those are some strong words.
Yada, yada, yada. I'm not impressed with this guy. I'm gonna go back to the drawing board. I'm gonna sharpen my blade and I'm gonna come back swinging for the fences. He's not gonna want nothing to do with me, guy. Nothing at all in our second fight. This full tang fighting machine's gonna pimp smack this guy to the moon.
I say buy them both. You decide.